Morning guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Sebastian, a medical student from Australia, and I just got off the train and I'm on my way to my first class. I'm running a little bit late because I slept in, but I decided to go for a run. Thought I'd be a little bit healthy, and now I'm here and the class starts in 5 minutes. I skipped the first lecture, but I'll make the second, and I'm currently at the business school. I'm just outside, I'm just about to go in. The lecture starts in 5 minutes and it's on multiple sclerosis, so I'm going to check it out and hopefully it should be really interesting. It's a Friday and the day is usually split into two parts. We have a series of lectures and seminars which run in the morning, and this is followed by practicals which run throughout the afternoon and change depending on our allocated sessions. We're having 3 lectures and I arrived just in time to make the lecture on multiple sclerosis, or MS, and it's focusing on the diagnostic approach. We learn that diagnosis is made on the basis of clinical symptoms and signs of the patient, and it's confirmed with findings on an MRI and evaluation of cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF. According to the McDonald criteria, to make a diagnosis of MS, lesions need to be disseminated in space and time on the MRI. You'll expect to see focal changes in areas of the brain, with typical lesions present in the periventricular regions. And we learned that by using a gadolinium contrast agent, you'll be able to distinguish acute lesions from old lesions because they will look bright on imaging, illustrating blood-brain barrier breakdown and sites of active inflammation. The lecture beforehand covered more of the immunological basis of MS, and how T cells cause damage in the disease process. And we finish off with a light revision session on infectious diseases to see how much we remembered from first year. Each of the lectures ran for an hour, and after sitting down for quite some time, it's time to head out. Alright, so we just got out of the lectures, and lectures ran from 9 to 12. I missed the first one, but I made the other 2. The lecture that we just had was on infectious diseases. It was like a revision quiz for some of the stuff that we done last year, so obviously a lot of it just sort of slipped out of our head, and I swear some of the questions were testing blocks that we haven't even been tested on, like gastroenterology and stuff like that. But we had that. They were using like a Socrates online quiz, so everybody puts in their answers and then they'll put it on the board and you can see how your cohort did, so it's just a good little revision session. And right now it's pretty much midday and I've got my anatomy practical, which is just about to start, and so I'm going to make my way over there now and go catch up with my friends. We have these anatomy practicals once per week and they run for 2 hours, and it's a great opportunity for us students to get a little bit more hands-on with our learning. Before the class, tutors set up the appropriate pro-sections for us to look at, and they accompany them with questions as we go along. Today's session is all about the visual pathways, and so we'll be looking at things like the primary visual cortex. We'll try trace the calcarine sulcus and get a grip on the various projections of the retina. Earlier in the week, my friends and I struggled with visual field defects, so this prac will be a good opportunity for us to go over the different types and causes of hemianopias. We'll also review the parts of the optic radiation like Meyer's loop and Baum's loop to help us better understand why damage to, say, the temporal or parietal lobe can lead to visual problems like quadrantinopias. Once I'm all coded up and I have my ID on, I make my way inside. Can I just get the tortilla chips and the tomatoes, please? Oh yeah, take that. Alright, so I picked up a chicken burrito from the McCafe up the road, I've had it before and it's pretty damn good. And I'm just standing outside CPC building, which is the Charles Perkins Center. And this is where we have our physiology and our histology practicals every week. So I just finished my anatomy prac about half an hour ago. We were covering the visual systems, so the occipital lobe, all the tracks through there, all the nuclei that we want to be looking at. So that was really fun. My friends have headed off, so it's just me, I'm by myself now. And we are doing a physiology practical. We're looking at visual fields, how to test them, a little bit more about the equipment and what tools that we'll be using if we're trying to do a visual field assessment. So right now I'm gonna get down into this and then I'm gonna make my way inside. I don't know if you guys just saw that, but they're having like archery just over there, which seems pretty cool. And behind me you see some ovals and the colleges, which is a very nice place on campus, especially for such a good day. And I also forgot to mention that the Charles Perkins Center is actually a medical research building. So it spans like 7 or 8 levels, and then above certain levels you have the research labs, and it's great for students that are wanting to do an honors or just to do further research. Yeah, in the back wall there's a sound chart. The practical finishes at 4 p.m. and it's our last class for the week. I catch up with my friend Declan and we find a group study spot. The library is super quiet at this time because it's a Friday afternoon, which forces us to stop chatting and to get some work done. Usually I'd like to work through some practice questions using past medicine or test myself through an Anki flashcard deck, but right now I'm feeling pretty tired after the long day and I'm feeling pretty rusty with ophthalmology, so I decide to do some light reading of the ophthalmology chapter in the USMLE Step 1 textbook. I won't go into too much detail about the textbook because I've already talked about it in a previous video, but in short it gives a good outline of the different pathologies. In our curriculum, each week is split into different themes. So this week was all about vision. In our lectures we learned about the visual pathways, the extraocular muscles and how to test them, and several pathologies which affect vision, like in MS that we learned about this morning. As I read through the chapter, starting from the basics like the anatomy of the eye, then moving to cataracts, glaucoma, and macular degeneration, I scribble notes and pictures onto my iPad. As I go through the chapter, if I run into any hard concepts, I quickly chat about them with Declan so I can break up the monotony of reading page after page of text and to also bounce ideas off one another. Pro tip, if you find that you're really not in the mood to study, you've had a long day, your brain's just feeling fatigued and you don't really want to do anything, I'd suggest either just starting by the basics so that your brain isn't put off by a wall of new content, or by grabbing a few mates and finding a study spot. With your friends, you'll do one of two things. You'll either power through a heap of content by holding each other accountable, or you'll end up chatting for 30 minutes and getting no work done. My friend Alex arrives and we end up doing just that. After 30 minutes of socializing and catching up, we both chuck on the headphones, I put on my favorite lo-fi playlist, and we study until dinner time. I'm making my debut. How's the obstructive sleep apnea study going? Dude, sleep apnea is so boring. This is me right now. Can you tell us about what that flame represents behind you? Oh dude, this is a throwback to our old undergraduate days where we'd always have the campfire up to produce a homely environment. So good. It gives us the study power, the power to keep going. The eternal warmth that we need. That's it. Alright guys, so I'm out of the library now and that will pretty much wrap up the rest of the day. I had a good mix of lectures, pracs, a little bit of study. It was a pretty good day. I was semi-productive, so pretty happy with how it went. But thanks so much for watching. It was a bit of a short one today, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, can you please smash that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I have plenty more med school vlogs on my channel coming up, so be sure to check those out. Right now, I'm off to Central. I'm gonna meet my girlfriend, gonna pick up some snacks along the way and just relax for the rest of the evening. But thanks so much for watching guys, and until next time, this is Sebastian, stay sharp.